Resident Evil 3 is the last game in the iconic trilogy of mainline Resident Evil games to appear on the PlayStation 1 and sees Jill Valentine try to escape Raccoon City long after Leon escaped in Resident Evil 2. Atmosphere. There's this despair-ridden isolation to walking the abandoned streets of Resident Evil 3. It's not like the police station in 2, it's dead. The city has died and all that's left are the few stragglers holding on to life as the zombies pick off whoever is left. Even when you return to the police station early in the game and that familiar tune plays, it's not the same, it's been ravaged and destroyed. I love how empty and hopeless the city feels. Things are on fire and no one is there to put them out. Bodies litter the streets and things have been looted and left as the masses fled the city or were turned into zombies. With yet another experimental monster stalking the streets to find you, Nemesis makes exploring the city even more hazardous as you never know when he's going to show up and ruin your day. Little things like not having to press X to climb stairs helps the immersion as well. I really like the atmosphere of this game, that all hope is lost and it's a fruitless struggle to try and escape, but you've got to try anyway. That's one Harry Mason. Scares. The ever-looming threat of Nemesis turning up in scripted and random events is the most frightening aspect of the game. An enemy that you can't kill and can barely slow down, chasing you the whole game to try and kill you. Whilst I initially found this annoying, the scripted events where you get to make a choice kept his encounters fresh without the repetition wearing it down. It threw out a lot of limitations you came to expect from previous games. Nemesis can now follow you through door loading zones, which at first scared the living daylights out of me as he runs just as fast as you can, and sometimes barrels even faster. If he throws you to the floor, you have to mash buttons to get up. If you take too long, he'll just kill you. On top of that, zombies bursting out of the environments and surrounding you when you enter a tight area keeps you on your feet. Random scripted events like the giant worm and other hazards spice things up so everything doesn't rely on Nemesis and the zombies, and it keeps you constantly paranoid entering new zones. The added maneuverability and dodging mechanics helps even the playing field a bit. You don't feel as helpless against this much of a larger threat. However, I did feel it lacking the subtle moments of Resident Evil 2, which is a shame, as this game seems more action-orientated. Still, what was in the game was enough to scare me a few times. That's 2 Harry Masons. Sound design. The music in this game is great, easily my favourite Resident Evil soundtrack. Everything sounds so woeful and hopeless. It's 90s synth strings playing their gloomy chords as the drums pound to remind you of the constant threat. There were some confusing moments as Nemesis' iconic "stars" phrase just sounds like it was played through a telephone, but everyone else's voice sounds crystal clear. I don't understand how that came to be. The dialogue itself is more fluid and people sound a little less awkward and cheesy. The rest of the sound effects actually sound really good to me. Maybe I've grown into them from the last game, but the weapons especially sound fantastic. That's 3 Harry Masons. Gore. The gore in this game is really cool. With the addition of explosive barrels laying around the city, you can blow zombies to pieces, you can electrocute them and explode their heads and do all manner of nasty things to them. Shooting them with the assault rifle sprays blood everywhere, and it's all just really fun. Whilst it's not gory, I love how you can blast the abdomen off of a spider and lots of little spiders burst out of it and chase you. The gore in the game feels a bit grittier than previous entries, maybe due to the more gnarled and grotesque appearance of the zombies. Either way, it's awesome. That's 4 Harry Masons. Story. The last member of Special Style Unit's Jill Valentine is trying to escape Raccoon City before it devours her alive. She meets up with an Umbrella Special Forces unit and tries to help them escape too. However, she's being hunted by Nemesis and things go horribly wrong and the death toll rises. Eventually you discover that Umbrella, who are behind the zombie outbreak to begin with, plan to hit the city with a missile and wipe out anything that's left. As usual, there's some diary entries laying about and they're fairly interesting, but a step down from the creepier stuff you find in Resident Evil 2. There's some fun B-movie style interactions with the characters before things go wrong, but it really feels like you're playing through a pretty high-profile action horror film. The final score, 5 out of 5 Harry Masons. If I'm honest, I wasn't expecting to like this game as much as I did. Whilst it isn't terrifying, it is a fun ride through a zombie-infested city in what feels like a desperate fight for survival. Stars! Again, I'd like to remind you this whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games. If you don't share this opinion, then that's cool. I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I was horrified of Nemesis, I did not scream like a banshee or run away from the computer. And I'd advise you don't either. There'll be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. And always go check out Bumps in the middle of the night. Peace.